So, ready?
Yeah, I'll let you know when it hits the 15 seconds or so.
Oh, right.
Amazing.
Slap myself around a little bit. Get ready.
Get excited, get pumped.
Get.
And we're there.
Hey, welcome back to the Nub. This is the Merce.
Hey, it's me, Felton. The Hot Glue.
A little slow on the uptake there.
Sorry.
That's all right. So let's go ahead and start off by saying that we've been doing a lot of giveaways.
I saw that.
Giveaways lately. Yep. And so on this podcast, we're going to do a giveaway as well. The person who has the best comment about whatever we talked about in this podcast will earn a 20% off coupon at 9.9 Comics.
Nice.
Yeah, 9.9 Comics is a great place to go to get, especially to get your comics graded. They're in Melbourne. The owner is fantastic. He's like one of those guys that's really excited, about everything.
Oh, he's a super nice guy.
Yeah. So make sure that you guys stop in there. And like I said, best comment on whatever we talked about in this podcast will earn 20% off coupon.
Ooh.
What else we got there? I wanted to talk about some of the comments that we got on our podcast lately, because the latest contest that we have going on right now is to get people to like and subscribe to our podcast so that we can get more followers on there. You can do your little chibi thing with the fingers and everything.
Well, you want that? You want that right there?
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh. I thought you meant like jazz snaps for a second. I don't know why.
No,
my brain just went totally in another direction there.
So Mike Race, he pointed out that on episode 1 there was some static in there, which we knew about. We knew that we had an issue with the equipment, and you did a fantastic job fixing that as best you could.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed to pull that off. Jesus.
Well, the second episode came out perfect. The first episode does have a little static in it, so we apologize for that, guys, but we're gonna not have that in the future. Let's see. Troy White, he was talking about MegaCon, how he no longer really goes to, or how he didn't go to MegaCon this year because he loves to go and do the role playing thing, and they didn't really they only had the Pathfinder role playing, and that's not really what he goes for. So I talked about how we go there for many different things. We end up, all kinds of panels and getting stuff signed and buying stuff and just having a blast.
Yeah.
And then Justin Fox, he was saying that as far as episode 2, I think it was, he was comparing and contrasting the Mario and Sonic movies, how both of them don't really seem to be in touch with the source material, although I would argue that the Sonic movie at least looks a little bit more like they've paid attention to the source material a little bit.
Well, I don't know. There's a special place in my heart for that Super Mario Brothers movie. Like, I don't know. I don't think they were trying to recreate the game. I think they were trying to recreate an image or
reality.
Or they just had this idea for this, dystopian otherworld film and just adopted the plot to Mario, which I'm kind of leaning more toward that being the case, that they already had a script and they said, hey, let's just adapt the script to Mario. Yeah, somebody already had this vision, like the director or writer, someone had that vision and they went with it.
I definitely agree with that. That movie was definitely nothing to do with Mario.
But with that being said, I still love it. Like it's so different and corny, and like the scene with he's got a bomb, like that was just so absurd. All of it was so absurd, and they set it up for a sequel. And I think one of the greatest tragedies is they never made the sequel. I mean, they
should have actually made it a whole franchise. It's just movie after movie after movie, like have an uprising of, the Dino people, like the whole 9 yards.
It still would have been better than Twilight, so what's everybody upset about?
Oh, what if they made Mario and Luigi sparkle, though, like in Twilight?
I will say, though, that series on YouTube, it was called Mario Warfare. I felt like that was very similar, like with that just,
For its time, too, it was actually a really good fan flick.
Oh yeah. But just that same, kind of, I don't know, almost like a gritty rendition of Mario, like it really did seem like that. Whoops.
John Wick Mario. Somebody kills his Yoshi. And he goes on a spree.
He teams up with Princess Toadstool.
Yes. All right. Another bit of local coolness going on. So I went in. I talked with the owner of one of the two owners of Gamers Respawn.
Mm-hmm.
Steve. Yeah, I know that we talked to him before, but I went in there again. He actually gave us some more gift certificates to give out. But they're having a grand reopening on July the 7th. And if you're a nub and you go in there and you tell whoever is at the desk, this is the nub you're looking for, you'll get 10% off of all your purchases except for the raffles. How awesome is that? So just go in there as a nub and say, this is the nub you're looking for. Boom, 10% off of all your purchases except for the raffles.
That's amazing.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yep. So that's July 7th. That's when they're having their grand reopening. What else is going on? Stranger Things comes out 4th of July. So I am super excited about that.
Ooh. It's in a couple of days.
Yeah. You didn't know, did you?
No, I thought it was later on this month.
Oh no. I am super excited about that one. What else is going on? Oh, so I want to talk about this. DC is celebrating their 80th year of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
We went to their panel at MegaCon, right? And I haven't had a chance to talk about this on the podcast, so I wanted to bring this up because I thought it was hilarious. So they had like all these big like Batman contributors. They had Tom King there, who's killing it on Batman now. They had Tomasi there, who killed it on was it Detective Comics. They had just a whole bunch of people on this panel, right? But one of the big ones that they had there was Neil Adams, and I was so excited to go see Neil Adams because he's like one of the biggest. He's basically what brought Batman out of that goofy like Batman TV show kind of Batman, to back to a grittier Batman, which was awesome. But turns out that I guess once you become as famous and popular as Neil Adams is, you can pretty much just do whatever the hell you want and say whatever the hell you want. Like he was up on the stage and he was talking about how he did, this project for the 80th anniversary where he worked with this quote unquote black guy, which I was like, I don't think you can say it like that on stage, but okay. And he said it was Christopher Priest. Well, Christopher Priest he was talking about Christopher Priest like he was an up and comer, like he's like, oh, you guys should really keep an eye out for this guy. Christopher Priest is the guy who basically saved Marvel's butt in the 90s with the Marvel Knights series Black Panther. Right? So like he's a big name in comic books. Like he's definitely established. And the way Neil Adams was talking, I was like, oh, you should keep your eye on this black kid. He's really going places. I was like, oh my God. I can't believe it. And the best part is like all the other people on the panel were like doing the whole head palm thing. Like, oh my God, stop! Neil, stop!
Just cut it out just for a second. Hold on.
But oh man, it was great. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. So that's what's going on. That's my comic book news. It's like a news and a story. And then I'm gonna jump in with some video game stuff first, and then you can take over with. I know I'm kind of moving into your territory.
Nah, that's all right.
And then you can take over. So Pokemon Sword and Shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming out. I don't know. I don't have the exact date when it's coming out, right? But I'm excited because we're gonna have Pokemon Kaiju.
See what?
There's gonna be Pokemon Kaiju. It's gonna be like giant Godzilla-sized Pokemon.
Yeah. I'm
shocked.
They
can fight each other.
That's crazy.
Oh, I'm so excited. Like, and I mean, like the regular, like a Pikachu that's the size of a building.
Mm.
It's like the new. You know how the Pokemon games have like a power that you unleash and then they can do whatever.
Yeah.
That's their powers, that they become these giant friggin' Pokemon. extremely excited about that.
Pikachu-Zilla.
Exactly. And then I guess you can like have teams of Pokemon, like 3 or something like that, to take on the Kaiju type Pokemon. I don't know all the details yet. I'm just excited that there's gonna be giant ass Pokemon.
So is this on the Switch? I take it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically one of the best systems ever created, ever.
I've heard of it, and I've heard you talk about it before. I guess it's one of those up and coming consoles you should really keep an eye on.
Yeah, you should keep an eye on it. It's this nice black little console.
That's true.
Going places. But actually, I will say, I mean, I don't think the Switch is for everybody per se, but for me, it just fits my lifestyle so well because I don't really have a whole lot of time to sit down and play in front of the TV.
Yeah.
So I can maybe get like 10, 15 minutes on, at work on break or something on there, or maybe if I'm taking a break doing something, I can just grab it and start playing with it. So I love the thing.
Yeah, you just grab it, start playing with it. It's fine.
Yeah, that didn't sound right.
Phrasing.
We're gonna totally get censored on this one.
Gonna get demonetized.
Do you want fines? Exactly. Yeah. Do you want fines? Because that's how you get fines.
Jeez.
So, all right, Felton, give us some nerdy video game news.
All right. So first of all, I've heard that I don't know. I'm big on the Oculus, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but they're releasing some patches to help out with some tracking issues it's had in the past with the new Rift S. So for anybody that has a Rift out there, the Rift S, you got a patch on the way. The Oculus Quest is getting, I don't understand, for some reason, it's getting really good reviews. People like having wireless VR, which, okay, that's cool. I prefer having the power of the PC behind it, playing multiplayer and doing all that. I don't actually know anything about the library of the, Quest, if it has, multiplayer or even local multiplayer. I suppose all that can be worked out.
You think maybe it's like a price point thing?
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's not even any cheaper than having a hardware-driven, Rift, because it's still the same price as buying one attached to your PC. So, I mean, I guess it just depends on what you want to use it for. The Quest has a full library of games, but I'm just afraid that the majority of those games are going to be mobile quality. So I guess time will tell, and we'll see how it goes. But for the time being, PC driven PlayStation VR, those are still like the standard of home VR. So they're still going strong, because they said this year that VR was going to die, and that's proven completely wrong. I don't know if you've seen. Did we talk about The Void before over at Disney Springs? So I went over with my family to go to the Void over there, and basically what they've done is they've used like the TP-Cast or a similar system to render the Oculus wireless. And you go with a group of 3 people, or 4, I think is what it actually is meant for, but we did 2 groups of 3, through a Star Wars, or right now they have Star Wars and Wreck-It Ralph themed VR levels that you can go through. And I've got to say, they use a leap motion on the front of the camera, and you go through a series of rooms and solve a couple of puzzles, shoot stormtroopers. I don't want to give too much away, but it is a fully sensory immersive situation. Like when there's heat, they're putting heat, like you're getting blasted with heat. Like when it's cold, you can feel objects that should be cold.
It's like a 4D kind of situation.
Oh, yeah. You're walking around and you're touching the walls and you're touching objects, and they're actually there. And the leap motion tracks the movement of your hands. So, and it's reasonably well. Like, you're holding your blaster and you're touching things, and it's a pretty immersive experience. I would give it a 8 out of 10 on immersion. That's pretty good. It's called The Void.
It's called The Void?
Yeah.
That's the name of the place?
Yeah, that's the name of the place. It's kind of like an up-and-coming movement where they're taking these wireless VR systems, and essentially, I believe they've gotten programmers, and I think they've built it from the ground up. The only thing of it is, I believe the base of the game that they're working off of is a game that's just coming out on the Oculus Marketplace. It's like the Vader, something or other. I don't remember the name of it. But I believe, based on the images I've seen of the Oculus game, that it's based on that. But
Okay.
I don't know how similar it is, or if they've tweaked it. But clearly they've tweaked
So how
it
much
because
is
it costs. I think it's about $30 per person.
$30 a person? Okay.
To go through, but it was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah,
I mean,
it sounds like it's worth it.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, that's something where I would go and do the Wreck-It Ralph, or I would go back when they had a new experience to do, because we had so much fun doing it. And my family, of course, they're not really initiated to VR, so they were like freaking out over getting shot. Oh, and the vests have like vibration registers on it, so when you get shot by a stormtrooper, you actually get a pretty violent vibration on your vest. So you actually feel it, like you're like, oh god, I'm getting shot.
So we're totally moving into Player One mode now.
Oh yeah, it was
Ready Player One.
Yeah, it was super cool.
That sounds fantastic.
And
I gotta check that out.
And the whole time, like they're used to it, but the whole time I'm like having this reaction where I'm like trying to like reach down and find my wire so I'm not getting snagged on it, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta stop that. I don't have a wire right now. But I definitely am curious to see where they'll take it. A game like if they were able to mod like Arizona Sunshine, which I don't know if they would do zombies at Disney, but maybe like around Halloween or something, they might do do like a zombie experience, which would be super cool. Oh my god, that would be awesome. But
I would definitely be down for that. You gotta let me know next time you're going. Like, I'm sure that you would like that too. So.
Oh yeah, it was super cool. But everybody was freaking out because they're not used to it, and I'm just like the grizzled VR veteran. I've seen things. Like,
just get behind me.
Just get behind me. I'll take care of these stormtroopers.
Oh my god, was it your chance to finally be Keanu Reeves? Were you like, wake the F up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
We got a city to burn. Oh god. Nothing will ever match my excitement when I saw that trailer. Gosh.
Oh man. So hey, I wanted to introduce a new concept to our podcast.
Okay.
And I figured I would do it right now, so it was your reaction would be unscripted.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to introduce the D20 of Destiny, and each podcast, one of us rolls the D20 of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if it lands on, like, let's say a 1,
okay,
we have to share something extremely, like, personally embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And if it lands on a 20, then the other person has to share something extremely embarrassing. So
I think we already did that inadvertently in the last episode.
Well, yeah, and it made for some great podcasting.
So now it's your turn. Oh, I see. Oh, now we're gonna get into fair rules. Oh, okay.
Yeah, now it's gonna be forced. So, I've got a D20 here. Just so you guys know, we're actually recording over the phone today, because this has been a really rough week for us. So, Felton's not actually with me, and I'm not with Felton. We're not actually staring deeply into each other's eyes like we normally do.
I know you can't tell because it sounds so good.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. It sounds like we're right next to each other. Again, staring into each other's eyes. But I'm gonna roll this D20. Okay. Now here's the thing: you're not here to see it.
Yeah.
So you don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is the whole DM rules right now. This is behind the screen. You don't actually know what this roll is going to be. All right?
All right, but real quick, though, before you do that, I just have one more bit of gaming news. So,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I had to get this out there. So, Battlegrounds is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, a popular battle royale simulator, right? They're adding an amphibious vehicle. They're adding the Desert Eagle, which is, of course, the Deagle, the crux of the first-person shooter, right? And they're adding in a little bit better like parkour / vaulting system. So the vaulting system
parkour.
Yeah, you remember how clunky it was before. So they've added a little bit smoother vaulting. I guess maybe in an attempt to bring people back. I don't know how well it's going to work, because Apex obviously has a really smooth system. So
I was just about to ask you that. Like, hasn't Apex and I know how you feel about Fortnite. I kind of feel the same way. I'm not a Fortnite fan myself, but haven't Apex Legends and Fortnite kind of made player unknowns battleground kind of pointless?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the player base is different. PUBG is a lot more of these like hardcore, wanting to be like military sim try-hard people that want to lay down in the grass and, take off all their gear and wait for that one pixel to move and shoot and get that, winner chicken dinner. Whereas, Fortnite, you get shot once and you want to build a Taj Mahal around you. And Apex Legends, I kind of feel like it's not really anywhere in between, but it definitely has, I feel, a lot better level design than both. And I don't know, the characters are just kind of charming in their own way. I still really like Apex.
On that note, somebody asked me not too long ago if I thought they would do the battle royale with Overwatch, and my thought was that I think that would kind of break the game, because obviously there would be certain characters that would be better at that than others.
Yeah, there's just no way. They're not trying to edge in on that market. And like you said, those characters are specially designed. It's like a card game. It's a MOBA. Mm-hmm. You have a character that counters another character, a character that counters two other characters. Genji counters everybody. It's just like, that's not true. I can waste Genji with Moira now. I'm getting really good at Moira.
Yeah. I can usually take out a Genji with my Zenyatta, so relax.
Yeah. they just like to think that they're top tier, those Genji players. But it's not tuned for that. Need healing. That's a great ability. The ability to spam need healing without the radio cooldown. That's a great skill.
Oh man, it's fantastic. I love it every time.
But yeah, it's just not tuned for it, and that's that kind of segues me into another quick commentary. Borderlands 3. We're getting more news about the characters, 3. More news about the characters, and a funny little quip. And this is our quip. Is that what I'm looking for? And this is what we'll end on. The developers.
Well, no. Hold on. We're gonna end on the dice roll.
Oh, we're gonna end on the dice roll about gaming news. Okay. This is just my end of the gaming news.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So they were talking about Borderlands 3 and how Borderlands 3 is an amazing game in their own words, and that it wouldn't have been as good if they hadn't made Battleborn. I just thought that article was one of the best things I've ever read. So they basically admitted that they went from Borderlands 1 straight to Borderlands 2 and then made Battleborn because they were exhausted and wanted to make something different. Battleborn was absolute dog shit. They failed. So now they can make a good Borderlands 3. So I said, that was the sacrificial lamb right there. They
How is it we started a new season, right? After 30 some odd episodes the first season, we started a new season, and you still find a way to slip that game, slip in some kind of slight against that game.
Still find a way to shit on Battleborn, because you don't understand. It was supposed to be the chosen one. Like, that game was supposed to be cool, and it was just so disappointing and left out. They left it out in the cold woods when it was an infant, and it died. Kind of like they wanted to do with that anime I was talking about with that little demon baby.
I feel like, honestly, like this game has touched you inappropriately at some point in time, and now you just,
Yeah, it touched my heart inappropriately, and then it broke it.
You just want to go all sleepers on it now. You just want to beat it, into submission. Yeah. 30 years later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, okay. So is that it for the gaming news?
Yes,
there?
I'm done on my Battleborn shitting spree.
Nice. Where are we at time-wise?
We still got a good 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Oh, good. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this dice thing here. Okay. We are rolling the giant dice. Now, let me tell you, this dice is a clear green, sparkly dice.
Ooh.
So I think it's a vampire dice. I'm gonna roll it here. Let me see if I can get the microphone close to the table so you can hear it roll.
Yeah, it better sound like the number that you're landing on.
Did you hear it roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is hilarious because guess what it landed on?
20. So you get to share something this week.
No, it landed on 1.
Oh, that's
so
impossible.
I get to share something this.
Oh, okay. So you're
it
1 and
landed
I'm
on 1.
20.
So
okay.
I'm rolling the die, so it's bad for me. You know, like next week you'll roll the die, and you see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing like a flipping the coin thing. Okay.
No. It's just like if we were playing D&D and I rolled a 1, you know, on my turn, that would be something negative for me.
Oh, okay.
Or if I rolled a 20 on my turn, that'd be something positive for me. And hearing your your stories of childhood trauma is usually very entertaining to me. So that would be a positive for me. But apparently I landed on 1. So I'm not going to hold back because I'm the one that created the stupid game, and we're going to go full tilt. All right.
So I'm cradling my head listening.
Buckle in. I was 11 years old, right? My grandmother was watching me and my sister. And I thought, for some reason, at 11 years old, that farts were the funniest thing in the world. Like, my whole family thought that farts were the funniest thing in the world for some reason. And so, of course, you know, I'm making myself fart to kind of entertain my grandmother and my sister, you know, just screwing around. And I end up sharting. I end up actually crapping myself. And
pulled a roker.
I went from like straight laughing and having a good time and everything's like fantastic, you know, like I'm the biggest comedian in the world to, oh my God. And I ran grabbing my ass to the bathroom, and my grandmother was freaking out. She didn't know what happened. She didn't know what was wrong. Although I think deep down she probably did know, and she was just playing it up like she didn't. But I was in the bathroom, 11 years old. I crapped my pants, and I'm crying, you know, like as I go into the shower with my clothes on to clean myself. I'm crying to my grandmother that I pooped myself, you know? And so that's when I knew I wasn't meant to be a comedian.
Okay.
You know, I knew I would never be on the level of like, say, a Jim Carrey. Like, I don't think Jim Carrey's ever shat himself, you know, in his routine. Although I don't know for a fact. But if he did, he was probably professional enough not to grab his ass and go screaming out of the room about how he shat himself.
I don't know. He's done a lot of drugs allegedly, so he may have one point. He may have crapped his pants.
Yeah, maybe more recently, but maybe that's why he's doing the Sonic movie. I don't know.
Maybe he just needs money.
So yeah, wow, that really sucked. That
see how fun that is.
My first dice roll was a 1.
See how great that is.
I was really hoping for a 20.
See how cathartic? You just all of a sudden it's off your chest. Now the world knows, and you feel better.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's gonna be, you know, on the podcast. So, and the good and bad thing is that we're getting more subscribers. So.
Hey, everybody knows about my neurotic issues, so, you know, there we go.
Yes. Well, only if they go back and listen.
Yeah, well, it's got to go back, listen to my fear of cheese on pizza.
Oh, my God. All right, so where are we at time-wise here?
We have a minute and 40 seconds.
Okay. Well, we can go ahead and close this episode out and, you know, get ready for, you know, the long week or so before the next episode that we record. Wink, wink. Not that we're going to record it back to back.
No, we're not going to do that.
So, I hope everybody enjoyed my crappy story, pun intended.
God.
And I've been the Merce.
It's a Felton.
And we'll catch you on the next one.